I mean, I went from essentially being a couch potato to doing about 15 or 16 races the next year. And then again, the year after.
Wow.
Triathlons, Ironman. The longest race was like 144.6 miles. This is the reason I bring that up, is because I got to spend more time with myself, me, myself, and I in Jesus than ever before. And one of the things that happened is...
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Entrepreneur Experience. I'm really excited about this episode. I say that for every episode, by the way, because I really am excited about every episode.
All of them are awesome.
But my name is Coach Joe. I'm the business coach here on this podcast. We have Jared Taylor with...
JT Visuals without the eye, because there's more than meets the eye with video content. Yep. And we have someone special with us.
Extremely special.
Someone who I met through church.
Okay.
That's
right. And then I was just blown away by... To be honest, this is... All right, let me just say. This is Chris Ward, guys. How many of you guys... Sorry.
Get to that part.
I started to go into the full description before.
All right, let's do that one more time. This is...
Chris Ward here. Chris is one of many things. And really, when I met him at church, it was really phenomenal, because I'm usually someone that's trying to ask questions about other people and pull things out of them. But Chris wouldn't let me do that, because you're such a good person to bring out greatness in other people. I really
appreciate
like that.
Thank you.
I really like
That's
that.
Important.
You're very curiosity driven, and
Thank you.
There's an energy with you for everything that you do, that there's purpose behind it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jared.
That is exactly how he was introducing you to me even before I knew you. He's like, I got a perfect person to come on the podcast. His name is Chris Ward. He does this. He does this. He does this. He does this. So let me officially introduce what you do, and then I'm going to let you take it from there. Is that cool?
Hey, that sounds good.
Awesome. So Chris Ward, there's like 75 million. No, I'm just joking. He is a realtor with RE/MAX, but he's also a host of a podcast called 5 Pillar Legacy.
That's right.
And I'll let you get into that in just a second.
Sure.
But you also said you do a couple of other things.
Right.
One of which is you're a business consultant slash business coach, and
That's
you just
right.
kind of help businesses grow the right way.
100%.
Awesome. So, look, 10,000-foot view of who you are. Let our audience know.
Sure.
Kind of emphasize on what I talked about. Like, who is Chris Ward?
So, I mean, number one, I'm a follower of Jesus. Number two, I'm a husband. I'm a father.
Yes.
I have 3 children. My wife and I have been together since high school sweethearts. She was 17. I was 18. Been together 20 some odd years at this point.
Wow.
And one of the things I'm most proud of is, hands down, my family. Our oldest daughter, Shaylee, is going to be 20 here in a few months. Our daughter, Aubrey, will be 17. Then our son, Matthew, is going to be 14. And so I'm a proud father.
Wow.
Yeah, that's right.
He's right there behind the camera. He's right over there.
That's right, yep.
Yeah, Matthew, give us a shout.
There's copyright on this, man. Don't. No, I'm joking.
I want him to get the entrepreneur's experience as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Wow. So you kind of spitfired all that kind of stuff. So you're a follower of Jesus. Tell us about your experience. I mean, we're also men of faith as well.
Okay.
Obviously, the podcast, you don't have to be, but like it's always cool to find people that share the same faith.
Yeah.
And also share the same drive, because being an entrepreneur takes a special type of person.
That's a nice way to put it. That's right.
So what is your faith journey? Like, how did you come to the Lord? And then how did you come to, taking that and also being an entrepreneur, basically?
Oh, boy, where to start on that one?
Yeah.
So
I'm kind of going off script.
Yeah, it's all good. We're just talking.
Cool.
So, I mean, I became a believer when I was a teenager, about 14, 15 years old, a freshman in high school. Didn't grow up going to church or anything like that. So I'm not going to get into how I became a believer, and yet became a believer. And I really had what I would say a pretty dramatic transformation, meaning that like there was before I started following Jesus and afterwards.
Yeah.
And to peel back another layer for you guys, where I was at as a teenager, I was pretty much a ticked off, angry, frustrated teenager. I had 2 stepdads that were doing the best they could.
Oh, okay.
And so I just had a lot of anger in my heart. Towards, I had a lot of judgments that of what I thought my parents should be doing, as far as paying bills and the choices they were making or not making, and I had a lot of just hate in my heart, honestly.
Man.
And she would be my stepmom. Ultimately, that's another story. Rebecca was kind enough to share Jesus with me. She told me, like, Chris, there's a guy named Jesus who everything you've ever done wrong, he forgives you for. All you have to do is put your trust in him. And I remember thinking, like, that sounds too good to be true.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, sure, of course.
Especially for somebody who grew up like that, where your reality was all these letdowns.
Yeah.
And then to hear about, there's a perfect person out there.
That's right.
Who's a dude, right?
Yeah, that's right. Exactly.
I can see that.
It was a big deal in my life. And I remember it was like the next day I woke up, all the hatred that I carried around all these years was gone. Wow. Now, I wish I could say that I just continued to follow Jesus all the years afterwards. However, I had it venturing off.
Sunset.
Yeah. By the time I was a few years later, I kind of drifted off because I got performance based and I felt like, I just couldn't measure up.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
So I didn't have one of the things that's important to me now. I am learning based, as you mentioned. That's important to me to be a student, to be a learner. And I'm so thankful for the mentors I have in my life. And that's one thing that I was missing then.
Yeah.
Is I didn't have the older guy further along the journey that was helping me understand who I am in Christ.
Yeah. Isn't that called discipleship?
There we go.
Yeah.
That's
what you meant.
Good
Jesus,
call.
when you went up there, disciple.
That's pretty important.
That is pretty cool.
Thanks for asking.
I like that summed up version of it because it's like you can get a lot in that. I didn't grow up the same. I didn't have stepfathers, but like I grew up very dysfunctionally and very angry at my family. So in high school, I was that angry kid. I think the difference for me was like I grew up as a Christian, so I was also upset at God that He gave me those parents.
Sure.
But that's kind of cool. I think we should connect personally and talk about those things.
Yeah,
it's
be
exciting.
glad to. I agree.
A lot of pain, but through that pain, there's so much good that came out of it.
Man.
So
and pain could lead to our purpose, which is
right.
Man,
yeah.
Right. Well, there's a lot of entrepreneurs and even people I don't know but that I follow. Like, you take the Dan Martells, the Jocko Willings, all those people, and it's like they talk about that pain that they had that like pushed them to be as successful as they are today.
Yeah.
So pain is not always bad.
100%.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and there was that movie where they were talking about World Trade Centers, and I think it's is it Mel Gibson or Dennis Quaid or someone, and
They both look the same. No, I'm just joking.
They got crushed from all the way underneath, and they survived the Twin Towers as firefighters. Wow. Like they went in, but then it got crumbled on them. Do you know what I'm talking about?
There were cops. It was.
They were cops?
I think I know what you're talking
about. Or paramedics or something.
There were cops.
It was a good movie, but they said in there.
Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, Nick Cage. That's what.
That one Hispanic actor.
Yeah, I don't know.
They were New York. Yeah, I know the movie.
What's the name of the movie? Is it 9/11?
I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe.
You'll have to text it to me.
Yeah. But
I'm curious
the thing that I took away from that movie was like, hey, they kept telling themselves pain is good because it means you're alive. You know?
Yeah.
And that was like, holy moly, that's a different perspective.
I'd say.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that spoke to me. And I think it's the same, when things crumble around you, it's like, hey, at least you feel something.
Yeah.
Right.
Some people do anything just to feel something. That's part of the problem for drug use and other things.
But that's like every human being. I feel like if there's an undealt with part of our life, whether it's, business or relationships or anything like that, we tend to cope a certain way. And sometimes it's not even as bad as drug use or alcohol abuse. Like it could be addictions to like pornography or things like that we just never like deal with.
Yeah.
I know that we're kind of going into a certain direction, but like this podcast is really for the entrepreneur who's watching, who says, you know what, like I'm going through this journey. Either I just started or I'm in it. I'm a rugged veteran, but life as an entrepreneur is lonely, right? And so like what I love to do, yes, it can be lonely if we let it be lonely, but the reality is there's not a lot of people that understand what we go through. Like we are a small percentage of people that chose to go against the grain of getting a job and doing what's secure. And sometimes it feels like life as an entrepreneur is constant chaos or constant busyness and things like that. So what we hope to really do is just really shed light on the things to focus on as an entrepreneur to be successful, because entrepreneurship, unfortunately, is one of those things where there's a high failure ratio in the United States. There's Forbes, I think, does like the statistics. Anywhere from 67 to 75% of businesses will fail their first 5 years into business. And of the ones who actually survive the first 5 years, half of those will be gone the second 5 years. So we're talking about like 80 to 90% of entrepreneurs will no longer exist within 10 years of starting their business. But then like on social media, you have all these people saying 5 things to be successful. So we really want to get down into like the reality of what it means to be an entrepreneur.
I made money in my sleep doing these 3 things.
Exactly.
And then it's like the hardest big things ever. It's like invest in real estate. And it's like that's so vague.
Exactly. Or just take an ice bath every morning.
Yeah.
But like I say all that to say it was very long-winded, but with purpose. Like for Chris Ward, what is success defined in your household, or at least with you, to your family? Hey guys, Coach Joe here. I know you had to put a pause on this podcast episode. However, I know I'm talking to entrepreneurs. Look, as an entrepreneur, you have highs and you have lows, and sometimes you have more lows than you do highs. So if you're just starting out in business or you've been around for a while, I want to encourage you to get a coach. Think about our firm for coaching if you need guidance on how to establish a firm foundation for your business. Your business may be chaotic right now. Well, let's organize that. You might be struggling with getting qualified leads. Let's help walk you through and coach you through those challenging moments. This is a thing. No matter how bad or good you are, everyone needs a coach. Even the best professional athletes have a coach until the day that they retire. So if your business is supposed to give you the life that you want, you have to make sure you're getting the best guidance. And you can't figure everything out on your own because you only know as much as you only know. So get a coach. Really think about getting my online courses. There should be a link somewhere around this podcast where you can click on it and have access to my online courses. Or if you want to talk to one of our coaches and see if we're the right fit for you, by all means, reach out. Stay strong.
If you've been thinking about making your own podcast like the one that you're watching or listening to right now, then JT Visuals is definitely the way to go. And that's JT Visuals without the I, because there's more than meets the eye. Podcasts for business are popping like crazy. Everyone and their mom is starting a podcast. Why should you start one? Well, because the truth is it's actually still not too saturated. Not only do you get a show that's all about your business and bringing on guests and spotlighting them and stories, but you're also getting clips and media to put onto social media platforms. Whatever your vision is for your business that you want to accomplish and how you help people, social media is the outreach for that. And when you have a podcast show, it is the easiest way to get started and to conquer that social media that everyone's telling you you need to be doing. We will do everything, so all you have to do is help come up with topics in collaboration with us, show up for a couple hours, and then leave, and everything else is handled for you. We would love to have a quick call with you to see if podcasting is right for you and if JT Visuals is the way to go for you. Just go to our website at jtvisuals.com. That's jtvsuals.com. jtvsuals.com. And now back to the show.
For Chris Ward, what is success defined in your household, or at least with you, to your family?
Yeah, I think that's an interesting question, and I think the younger version of me would answer that differently than the 41-year-old version of me sitting here today. When I think about what is success, I think about discovering what my purpose is in life. And then once I discover it, like building on the strengths, developing that purpose, and then ultimately deploying myself in that purpose to serve people.
Yeah.
And I think purpose ultimately does 2 things. Number one, pleases God.
Yeah.
And then purpose also usually comes down to serving people.
Yeah. Well, God's the one who creates the purpose in your life. Like
there we go.
He helps you define that. But
yeah.
Well, let me ask you this straight.
Sure.
What is your purpose in life? Like, what have you been able to discover to be your purpose in life that God has given you to go out? Like, what is your mission?
Boy, that's something I got into doing. I don't have any athletic-ism or whatever it's called in my background.
Yeah.
And yet around 2021, I decided to sign up for all these races. I mean, I went from essentially being a couch potato to give you an idea, doing about 15 or 16 races the next year. And then again, the year after.
Wow.
Triathlons, Ironman. The longest race was like 144.6 miles. And the reason I bring that up is because I got to spend more time. This is the reason I bring that up, is because I got to spend more time with myself, me, myself, and I in Jesus than ever before. And one of the things that happened is my coach I believe in having coaches, obviously, right? What kind of coach would we be if we didn't have a coach, right?
Absolutely. I have a coach.
100%. I got a few. And so my fitness coach, gentleman Doug out of Orlando, he taught me to train like we race, meaning that we're not going to have cell phones. We're not going to listen to music, no distractions, because you could get disqualified from any race that you do as far as the triathlons, the Ironman events. Because, if you're on a bike, you have to be listening. You have to pay attention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I started to spend all this time with myself, and I started to think about, it's like, man, have you ever had it in life where it's like all of these things are just kind of coming at you and it leads you to this one moment?
Yeah.
That's how it was. Like I was at a terrible spot. Like I was 40 pounds heavier than now. Number 2, I was approaching being a 40-year-old man. Number 3, my wife lost her mom, her mom was like in her late 50s, maybe 60.
Okay.
I don't even think she was 60.
Young.
Then my father passed away from a drug overdose that same year.
Wow.
And so all of these things.
Converged at
And so
once.
I got serious on that question. Like, God, like I follow you. That when I became a believer, you didn't zap me up to heaven. So I believe there is a purpose for me being on earth, right?
That would be so easy.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
I believe in you. Boop.
Yeah, I think it's important to think about. Like surely God has a purpose for us. Otherwise, when we become a believer, he would just take us to heaven.
Yeah, I agree.
And so I started to spend all this time with myself, and I did a deep dive, meaning I spent all this time thinking about and praying, God, what is my purpose? And I've landed on this. My purpose is to encourage and inspire others to pursue their purpose. And then there's 3 primary ways that I do that.
You do that.
Well, I appreciate that.
You do
It's
that
important to
naturally.
me.
That's how I started.
What is our purpose?
Ooh, let's hear this.
What do you mean?
For the action coach, you're part of my team. So
Oh, yeah.
Uh-oh.
With Action Coach, what's the purpose?
to help leaders and business owners fulfill their true potential.
Yes.
Here we go. That's solid. That's good.
Yeah.
Good for you guys on that.
I love that.
Love that.
Same
yeah.
as his.
Yeah.
With World Abundance through Business Re-Education.
There we go.
That's solid. Mine's 3 things. Number 1, helping people gain clarity.
Yeah.
That's good.
Number 2, help them overcome limiting beliefs, get past the stuff that's holding them back.
Ooh, that's a good.
Number 3,
that's-
helping them find the good.
Dude, I like number 2.
Number 2, get overcoming limiting beliefs.
Yeah, because I
That's an
struggle with
important
that,
one.
and I think I still do
Same.
because I just don't know.
Yeah.
Like, how can you tap past your limits
Yeah.
if you don't know? You think you know, but then you experience it and you truly don't. And I'm at a new height, I think, right now.
Yeah.
To where I'm starting to see that, and that's more of like where I value myself and value what we do as a business and things like that. So it's like, oh, they're not going to say yes because price,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that is actually a limited belief for a lot of entrepreneurs is like
Sure.
their what they think value is and how they think other people are going to see that value rather than just saying, hey, this is the value, this is my value proposition. I don't know if you ever deal with that when you handle or when you help your clients.
Oh,
But
yeah.
There's limiting beliefs all over the place. And, we always still struggle with it, like that,
Sure.
that imposter syndrome. Am I really,
Oh, yeah.
fit to do this?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like, our mindset, is sometimes that missing key just to launch us past that next level of success.
Yeah.
Right? Because you don't know what you don't know. Like my coach said, you rise to the level of your ignorance.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, and I said to you rise to the level of what you don't know. So sometimes your affirmation just needs to be, I'm in the process of learning how to become even more successful or more of a follower of Christ or more,
Right.
like things like that. Because we
Yeah.
don't know everything. That's why we have
100%.
coaches.
But
Yeah, exactly.
even when you're told it, you still don't truly know
Yeah.
until you experience it.
Right.
And that's where I
Your
was.
brain will register what it believes is important to you based off of what you constantly think or what you constantly say.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Your brain is just it's created by God and it's a powerful thing and all it says is, this is a data center. If you keep saying that you suck, I'm going to find ways to show you how you suck in life.
It's going to go get some evidence.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not like a hocus pocus, like name it and claim it. It really
Right.
just, if you keep saying I am a failure, then it's going to show you every area in life that you're failing at.
Yeah.
Right. Yep. We did a little fun thing as a family, and we're like, holy moly, I think I just saw 4 white trucks in a row. Guys, let's count how many white trucks we see. Dude, there were so many we had to stop counting. But to the point being, like, when we put our mind on it, all of a sudden that's what we're seeing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's not like they started making more of the trucks just because you started focusing on them.
Yeah. Hey, guys, they're doing their game.
Right. Yeah, here they come.
It's been out there.
Yeah.
It's been out there. Yeah.
It's how our brain works, though. It's the reticular activating system.
That's what,
Do you know the scientific word for that? This neuro something cortex? I don't know.
Neocortex?
Something. I don't know. Like,
I'm going to tap out on this
I'm going to tap out on
Yeah.
My coach knows all the scientific terms.
Nice.
Like RAS. That's it.
There we go. Yeah.
Reticular activating system.
That's right.
Well, let's dive into mindset, right?
Yeah.
Since we're on that topic. Like, as a business coach, also somebody who's watched yourself go from 40 pounds heavier down to where you're at, how important was it for you to really focus on changing your mindset to becoming that person that you wanted to become? Because when you were 40 pounds heavier, you had to kind of believe that you could do it.
Sure.
If you were a couch potato starting to do triathlons the next year, like what switched? What were the things that you decided to do, say, think, raise your children as, change your family core value? Like what happened? Like what was your formula if you had one?
Sure. I could think there was several things that led up to me making a decision. Decision is an interesting word, right? It's not to try or to choose. Decision is to cut off all other options. And I have a story on this one.
Man.
So decide. There was a particular moment. My family and I, about once a year, we go to Colorado. We were at Colorado Springs. My son was there. We had our father-in-law. My father-in-law is about 20 years older than myself. And we're going up Bar Trail. You guys been there? Colorado.
No.
If you haven't been there, it's a good spot for the family.
I lived in Colorado Springs for a little bit.
Okay, cool. Is it Bar Trail where Manitou Springs, that area?
Oh, no, it was it was where New Life is.
Okay, cool. So they have this switchbacks going up Pikes Peak.
Okay.
We only went to like the first spot, not the whole thing. And yet I had to pull over. I don't know if you remember this, Matthew. And yet I pulled over and I was like, let's take in the view. But I wasn't just taking in the view. I was trying to catch my breath. Seriously, true story, man.
Yeah.
And so I'm thinking like, I'm
guilty of that too.
I'm 35 years old at this point, and what was driving me crazy, like everybody was doing just fine, including my father-in-law, who is 20 years older than me, as I said. And there was all these older dudes that are like ripped like Rambo running up and down this mountain that are significantly older.
Yeah.
So I thought to myself, if I fast forward 40 years from now, the trajectory is not looking good. One of the goals that I have is to be able to dance with my daughters at their I'm sorry, of course my daughters at their wedding, however, also their children, and I did the math on it. I'm going to be between about 70 and 77 years old by the time my daughters have children, chances are. Just looking at the averages.
Right.
And it's like, man, I know
you better be in good shape.
100%, right? Yeah. So it's one of those things where I had a moment where I realized unless something changed, I think we all move from pain to pleasure, and a lot of times what drives me is pain. The pain of thinking about if nothing changes, what does that look like for me?
Right.
Yeah,
that's a scary thought.
It can be
if you really, and for most people too, because I think that as humans, we really it's natural for us to always want to take the easy road. Right. That's why we have a lot more lazy people. That's why we have a lot more overweight people, things like that.
Sure.
Because it's easier just to do the easy things. It's also easy to do the hard things.
It might be easy now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I always remember what Dave Ramsey said when I was getting out of debt in my 20s. Like, if you live like no one else now, later you will live like no one else.
That's good.
Right? So it's like, crap, do the hard things first.
Yeah.
It's funny because in 2021, I moved to Kansas City from San Diego, California.
Really?
Who would leave?
That's why I like you. You're a West Coast guy. I grew up in Seattle a lot, so
cool.
West Coast vibe.
Oh, you're Northwest Coast.
Well, that's okay. It was West Coast. Let's focus on West Coast.
Right. But there was many seasons in my life where like that realization of like, what I'm doing right now is going to lead to X, Y, Z. Do I like that? Will my wife still want to be with me if I'm still doing what I'm doing right now? Like, how do I feel still being poor in 4 to 10 years from now? Like, those are like harsh realities that sometimes I need to make sure that I'm paying attention to, because it's easy to start to coast. It's easy to fall off track. Like in business, you can have 1 or 2 years that are really good.
Right.
And you can say, okay, cool, cruise control.
Yeah, it's going. It's running.
It's revving, right? and if you don't put the right things in place for your business to run on its own, you're coming right back in 5 years to fix everything that's going to fall apart because the business was you. You know, so
it's like spinning a top. Eventually, it just starts to wobble. Like you can walk away for a little bit, but you need to have other people in place that'll keep spinning it.
There we go.
Exactly. That's kind of like motivation. Right? Like, you know how like a lot of people are like, I'm just waiting to be motivated. I know a lot of clients say, oh, I just lost motivation. I was like, so? Like,
Dude,
Where are your habits?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what habits have you created? Because motivation is great. Ride that wave.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
But motivation's always going to wear off.
Yeah.
What habits have you created that are healthy to keep you going despite not wanting to lose weight anymore, or to work out to lose weight, or, to do the thing to make that sale for your business, things like that.
Yeah. It reminds me of James Clear, Atomic Habits.
Yes.
Like the one thing
Love
I
it.
remember from his book is each decision I make today is like casting a vote for who I will become in the future.
Oh, okay.
I do remember that part.
Yeah, that's powerful.
I also know that he said something powerful. He's like, we never rise to the occasion. We always fall back to the level of our habits. Right?
Mic drop.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
That's a
good.
thinker, man.
In
Yeah, it's
Western
deep.
society, we always like praise the hero that just shows up, right?
Yeah.
Like, rose to the occasion. That never happens.
Yeah.
I know that when I say I will out loud, like or like at least murmur it, and like when I'm motivation's out, but it's like, hey, I know I need to do this, this, and this. I will do this. I will do this. I will do this, and then it helps me. So I had a few of those days. I'm pretty high motivated almost all the time. If we do
You're
like
a very energetic person in general.
yeah, and I know the ways to get motivated.
Our coaching sessions are very interesting.
Oh, I bet.
And I'm always dreaming of things, and it
Yeah.
always seems like a new interview question whenever I hire people is like, "How are you with whiplash?" But
It's random.
Yeah.
But anyways, I did find that helped me was like because there was a day I was like, I don't want to right now, I really don't want to, but I'm like, wait, hold on, yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I'm saying this wrong. I do want to, and I will, and I will, and then it helped me get through. And then I listened to a worship song a couple days later, and whatever that feeling was passed. I don't know what it was. It was during the time of like a lot of changes happening all at once.
Yeah.
We were moving here. It was just me still. There was, I was trying to hire, but at the same time, I just had a baby.
Oh,
Few
yeah.
things going on.
A lot at once.
Everything.
Big things.
Yeah. But that really stretched me
In what way?
in capacity. And then that's going back to your number 2 thing about limiting factors or limiting beliefs was I had no idea until I was stretched. And then once I crossed that, I was like, oh, I did it before.
Yeah.
Now it's a precedented case.
Yeah.
There we go. No going back.
Dude, we do, when we first started like coaching and we would write down like, what are your revenue goals? And I wrote down yearly ones. He's like, come on, man. I was like, dude, I thought I was believing high.
Yeah.
Because I truly just didn't know
Yep.
Yeah.
what was out there. I didn't know people are charging $10,000 for a webinar or more.
Sure.
I was in the world of, I felt like I couldn't afford it, therefore they can.
Right. A lot of that happened to do because of ministry too. Like a lot of times when you have a ministry background or a missions background, I've noticed that like a lot of times it's about like begging, right? Like I remember that from me when I was in ministry, like it was always like, well, can we do it? Is it a certain budget?
Yeah.
Our tithes and offerings were really low, so we can't do this and that. Let's start asking people for donations. And
Sure.
so bringing that into business, which is a whole nother fundamental thing to sell, other
Right.
than like begging for for donations, right? So,
Yeah.
oh man, but you did good though. I mean, now like you dream even bigger.
It's impossible now.
Now,
Like it's like, dude, okay, so did I say this on the podcast? But since we go to the same church, we're both really tight with our pastor, Sean Petrie. He was on
we
here
interviewed
once.
him.
Oh, cool. Nice.
Guys, go and listen. Look for the one with
What's up, Sean Petrie?
Pastor
I don't know if
Sean
he's going to watch
Petrie.
it because he's a high D, so I don't know if he's going to watch it.
But the
But
clips
if you're
will come
watching
out.
this far along into the podcast, what's up, man?
But anyways, we're both tight with him, and he started teaching me some things too with all that.
yeah.
And it was good. And then now like I get to spend more time with Chris, and it's awesome because Mondays.
Yeah.
Monday groups.
We've got a few weeks left, though.
I know,
3
and
weeks
I
or so?
missed 3 in a row, and I could feel it. I could feel it.
What have you got out? Legacy by Design.
Yeah.
Of course, I created. So what have you got out of we're on week number 8 or 9 coming up?
I really love. I like the social part, being around.
Yeah,
the right
that sounds
people.
like you. Mhm.
Yeah. I like the curriculum. I think you did a good job.
Yeah.
It's definitely being around the other people though.
Yeah.
That I really like, and being able to pray together and dream together and I'm trying to not overshare too much because there's other people in the room.
Sure.
So I'm always like slow to speak up because I'm waiting for other people to say things because I feel like I talk all the time.
But your leg is shaking because you really want to say something.
Starts getting fidgety.
Yeah. Like, should I say something? Holy Spirit, guide me.
I really want to say something, but
Right.
But it's really good. I like it because the overall, it's just like the mindset what we're talking about. Where the more you think about it, the more it develops.
Yeah.
And then we got into this part about core values, and we've done that with my business. But then he's challenging us about doing core values with your family.
yes,
And it was like, holy moly, why not? Like one time we had this, like, here's the rules of our house, and we made this design, but I forgot it, And so now it challenged me to go back and like, what are really the things we value?
Yeah.
And then I started seeing how similar we all are and how much we affect each other in our family. Because we all love to laugh and goof off and have fun, and that's definitely one of our core values.
Just
But
have
also
fun.
Goof off and fun.
Yep, and faith and
Nice.
So what we say to each other, we end up repeating around others too.
For
so
sure.
it was really good. I love that group. Thank you for that.
Hey, it's my pleasure.
Really,
It's been a lot of fun.
So you started that group that you keep talking about?
I did, yeah.
Nice.
Yep. I like
Might
to
just
create
crash
things.
it one Monday. Hey,
Oh,
guys,
please do.
what's
Yeah.
up?
Monday, 6:00 will be actually Monday. This coming up Monday, my house.
Oh.
I'll send you, make sure, I'll text you the info, get an invite.
I sent him an invite.
Oh, good.
Is there free food?
Hey, we're having a guest speaker.
I'm just joking.
Brian Bowers, one of the most incredible gentlemen I've ever met. If I were going to describe him, I would just say John Maxwell. He's about the same age as John Maxwell, and this guy's golden.
Oh, wow.
He's phenomenal.
Okay.
So, fun fact.
Yeah.
I actually went to John Maxwell's church in San Diego.
Really?
Yeah.
No way.
So he had I call it Western, and then he had like an offset, like a bunch of Filipinos like live in San Diego. So there was like the Wesleyan version of the Filipinos, but we had our service in the native language and all that kind of stuff.
Wow.
But we were attached to Skyline Wesleyan, which was John C. Maxwell's church.
Okay.
And so I remember seeing him
That's
as
so
a kid
cool.
every once in a while. Never really had a relationship because
Yeah.
shortly thereafter he went into public speaking,
Right.
and motivational speaking.
That's going back a few years then.
It's going back a long time ago.
Wow.
So I always tell everybody, oh, I know him, but I really don't.
Yeah.
I knew of him. He's from his church.
Yeah.
Hey, but speaking of, like, we had someone else on this podcast that I believe you know.
Who?
Because you went to training with him with John Maxwell.
Isaac?
Wambua.
Isaac.
Oh, yeah, dude's a
Wambua.
stud. I love him.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
a funny stud. And he's also short like us.
Yeah,
Woo!
that's right.
And
Yeah.
a business coach. There's similarities in successful business coaches being short. I'm just going to put it right there.
That's right. And
You're
believers.
short,
Like,
I'm
we're
short.
But it
believers
doesn't mean
too.
the
Like,
tall guys
short
can't do
believers. Kingdom. Yeah.
Actually, I'm starting to like the whole thing of, oh, you can't do it, you won't amount to anything kind of stuff because it's starting to motivate me.
It pushes
I'm
you.
like, yeah, but you don't know.
But you got to do that with like people that you really trust, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also, like, when there's more clarity of, like, this is a God-given vision.
Yes.
I am supposed to do this, therefore, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And sometimes, like, you know what? I won't measure up, but I will with God, because
There
he's
we
my
go.
identity, David and Goliath.
Yeah.
Right.
It's exactly that.
By the way, have you seen, tomorrow's Thursday, right? Yeah. It's the show?
Yeah.
Oh, House of David?
Is it the House of David?
So
Yeah.
good.
That
Yeah.
I like it.
amazing.
Oh, yeah.
I like
I
it
was
a lot.
surprised, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, it's a family deal for us. We
Yeah.
make popcorn, whole 9 yards.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah. It's tomorrow.
Yeah.
The
We're
only
not
thing is,
there
like,
yet.
I have like
No.
boys that are like 4 and 3 and all the gore. We're like,
Okay.
should we watch? Should we not? I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
like, cool, let them see it. My
Yeah.
wife's like, no.
I don't think it's too
okay.
much at all, but I mean, everybody's
I don't,
different.
But,
yeah.
I
Sure.
also have to honor my wife. Our core value is that we do things together.
Okay.
right? So
Nice.
we do have family core values. Actually, we've been on a kick of doing family core values. So my wife, hey babe, love you, convicted me one time. She's like, so you have core values for all your businesses and you push your clients to do that, but our family needs core values. I'm like, good point.
Wow.
Fair enough.
Really good. How do we
Yeah.
do things? Like, what is the heartbeat of what we do?
Yeah.
Having fun is actually serving and worshiping God together is the first one.
Yeah.
Nice.
Having fun traveling. I love traveling and we love eating food. So like we
Yeah.
were able to insert that, and that's funny how the RAS actually starts to kick in after you put the core values in there. Because we repeat it every Sunday night over dinner. Like I cook dinner, we dress up, we eat dinner, we talk about our core values.
That's a great idea.
Try to make
That's
it like
cool.
a family
Yeah,
thing.
that's
You guys want to do
love
it?
that.
Yeah.
Your own houses?
Go to your house and eat dinner and talk about your core values?
Yeah,
Like,
go.
like literally with you, or like
At your house.
oh, okay.
I don't know. Like, that was just an idea I got from somebody. I forgot where, but it's like,
I'm
hey,
visual.
you know what?
That's a good idea.
Our family is the most important thing.
Yeah.
Like, let's dress, like, me in a suit, the girls in their dresses, all that kind of stuff, and let's eat. Even if it's just like a cheap meal that I just put together, but like, let's make it a big deal.
Good for you guys.
We went off a couple Sundays in a row, but we got to bring that back in.
Yeah.
But, like, knowing that that's important, like, let's do it.
That'd be a good idea. Like if right now our dinner table is up against a wall, so we only use 3 sides for now. So we could easily make a design that has it all on a canvas or something. So that way it's always there.
Yeah.
We're always watching.
Yeah. So shifting the mindset to be able to do that, like, what was your journey? Because obviously you didn't just drop 40 pounds.
Sure.
You didn't just start running all these races, even though it happened within a year, basically.
Mm-hmm.
But like, what were some of the highs and lows to that journey? I mean, because my guess is it wasn't easy.
No, it wasn't. And disruption always follows intention, meaning if you ever had it to where you say, I'm going to go do this thing, then you get a flat tire. It's like all hell breaks loose. That could stop you from the thing you were just going to say. The thing that you were
around, you know?
Yeah, exactly. So for me, I mean, it was wild because my mind is like, okay, who's somebody that's already done this? Because I don't want to go try to figure it out myself. Number one, it'd be ridiculous. Number two, I know that's going to be a shortcut. Find somebody that's done that before and has got the results that I desire. So I believe in coaching so much.
Right.
So I reached out to a buddy of mine, Dan Grebe in Orlando, who's done many triathlons. I know him.
Wow.
Called him and he surprised me. He said, Chris, if catch a flight, come to my house, I'll teach you to swim, run, and bike. I said, deal. It's like on a Wednesday. That Friday, I caught a flight, go to Orlando. No joke. Friday evening after I got there, my mother-in-law passed away.
Oh.
So the next morning I did the right thing, of course, hopped on a flight back, came home, took care of family matters, but then a few weeks went back and he taught me how to swim, bike, and run.
Wow.
So why do I share that? I share that just because, like, man, whenever it comes to something that is meaningful, important in life, I see so many people say, oh, this happened, I'm going to wait, I'm going to quit. Maybe it's not for me. It's like, no, what if the resistance is actually confirmation that you're actually headed the right direction?
Yeah.
So for me, there's like,
I actually believe that resistance, if you're always doing the right thing, resistance will always be right
there
next
we
to
go.
it.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%.
Like the Apostle Paul says, your spirit and your flesh are always at war.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
that's
you want to do
good.
the right thing, the flesh will always try to stop it.
That's a solid
And the
point.
spiritual warfare of it too.
Yeah.
So the lessons I learned as a result were so impactful in my life.
Yeah.
I actually wrote a book about it.
Ooh.
So I identified 12 things that were major things that I learned. Like number one in my book is called Path to Purpose.
Oh,
Nice.
How to find, how to
right
discover.
here?
Yeah, there we go. Hey, thank you. Yeah,
here's
thank
his
you. There
book
we
right
go.
here, Path to
So I
Am I
mean,
going to get a signed version of it?
yeah.
Or-
So chapter 1, I open up with a C.S. Lewis quote. I can't go back and change.
Lewis.
I can't go back and change the beginning, but I can start today and change the ending.
Yeah.
It's like, man, step number 1 when it comes to my purpose is I had to let go of everything in the past and say, you know what? It's a new day. It's time to move forward with new vision. And so, there's many different ways I could answer your question. And yet that I thought on that so much, I wrote a book about it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's awesome. Is this on Audible?
You know what? It's not.
Can we get it
However,
on
I need to
Audible?
figure out how AI
Can we
We-
do it
we'll
with
let
that
it
off
be
for
on
me.
Audible.
Can we do it with you for real?
As far as like read it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a little sound booth over here.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I was hoping there was an app I could drop the PDF and it takes my voice and does the dance.
Maybe.
Future conversation, I guess.
Maybe.
Yeah, he doesn't want to be in the studio just reading his own book.
Man,
Yeah.
that sounds painful.
Yeah. Maybe.
Well, that actually does happen now. Like AI can like take your voice.
Yeah.
And actually
I was
read it for
thinking,
you.
yeah, if not
Oh,
now.
they made this stuff so
And-
easy.
Yeah.
The thing with like the Audible that could work is like it's not as up and down with the energy, and it's over processed and lower bit rate, like Nerd Talk for they
I
really
see.
downsize the quality anyways.
Yeah.
So it would, if it was actually you, it would probably sound close to like robotic anyways.
Oh, really?
So it's like that could be
good
a
to
good.
know.
There's probably something out there. You should try it and let me know.
Yeah.
But also, if you want a real person to do it, right over here, there's a
Yeah.
booth and
And you'll
works.
read it for me?
I'll have someone read it for you. Not
Fair
me.
enough. Matthew? You ready, Matthew?
But it is cool when it's an author
written
read.
by Chris Ward,
Yeah.
narrated by Jared Taylor. Yeah.
But there is just so many lessons, man. Like one of the biggest challenges I had was I would panic in the water. And I'm like, this is crazy. I have somebody that's watching me. My feet could touch the bottom because I'm in the shallow end.
Yeah.
Like there was no physical reason that made sense for me to feel such panic in the water.
Okay.
And so as a believer, I'm like, okay, Jesus, what's going on? And he started to reveal, there's some unforgiveness in my heart. He started to show me some things that were going on the inside. So really,
And that affected you physically.
it did 100%, where I was having like legit panic attacks swimming in the water. Even though I was supervised, it was safe.
Yeah.
So this is hitting a nerve with me because I panic in the water too.
Man.
I
Do you
could
still?
decently, yeah. So I went surfing a few times and I almost drowned. Like while I was drowning, and I hate the water. So holding my breath for a little bit, this just makes me panic.
What about swimming pool?
Even in a swimming pool. Like,
All right, guys.
I
Well,
hate
you know where we're podcasting next week?
in a swimming
In the
pool.
deep end.
So I know how to float, but then all of a sudden I'm like, what if I drown? Like a Peter moment. Like what if I'm
Yeah, it's a
it
mind
is.
it's a mind thing.
it's a
Battle of the
mindset,
mind.
and that's something
100.
transparently I have not been able to work on.
Man.
I've actually been ignoring it. So now that I'm
Now that it's brought up,
bringing it up, maybe
Yeah.
I just like you know what's so funny about that? I know I need to face that.
you see the story. If it's
I
someone
know
else,
I
you
have
would
to face it. I know I have to. I just keep putting that off.
Man.
What do you need to do it?
I just need to just swim and learn how to swim.
Do you need someone to go with you?
No, I mean I could swim,
Yeah.
but there's a certain point or wherever I go where I just start having anxiety, and then I don't know, like probably what you were talking about.
Sure.
I don't know.
I wonder what's on the other side of that.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't. I don't know. But
One way to find
it's
out.
legitimately something I've been dealing with.
Yeah.
That, like my kids love going to the pool and I hate going to the pool. Daddy, come in. I don't want to. Like it's been affecting that. Just
Wow.
Appreciate your honesty with that,
full
man.
transparency.
Yeah.
Holy moly.
Why did you bring that? I'm just talking.
Right. Yeah. Isn't it? Out
told
of
you
everything I could have shared. Right. That's
Exactly.
wild, man.
That's cool. Well, maybe
Yeah.
off air we'll have a conversation about this.
Fair
So
enough.
you were
Let's go.
determined because you were saying, man, I've just had enough? What was the thing that first step? You said you were on the couch, right? What got you off?
I would say just realizing the pain of if nothing changes, I'm not going to be around for my family 30, 40 years from now.
Was there a moment for that, or was it like
Well, that would be the
developed over
Colorado
time?
Springs moment, man. When I was going up
Okay.
that trail and the studs were running past me that
Yeah.
were way older than me. And I
that
was
was
pulled
your
over
moment.
taking a break. Yeah, that was a big deal. Like it was so impactful that I did two things that evening. Number one is I downloaded this app that I heard about where it's like it counts your hours. So even like right now, it's still running.
Yeah.
And that was from 2020. So it's been going on for 5 years now, down to the day and minute and second. It's a tracker.
Wow.
I started that. Number two is that the family wanted whatever for dinner. And I said, hey, I'm not going to eat that. Can I go through the Chick-fil-A drive-thru and grab a salad? Like I immediately made a change that evening.
Wow.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say chicken sandwich at first.
No, not a chicken sandwich.
It's a
No.
salad
I've been doing
thing.
something called the animal diet.
Okay.
And that's
Like carnival?
carnivore, but like you add a couple of other things like
Okay.
it's not just meat.
I
But
see.
There's like dairy products, just things that are very, very. And I learned the science behind it, the reason why. And I love meat and I love dairy. It's like, oh, this is going to be an easy diet.
Sure.
Oh, yeah. I did not know how much my body loves carbs.
Mm.
1 week is perfect. And I was like, hey, that hamburger looks really good.
Yeah.
Those Doritos look really good.
Right.
That resistance, it's there. Like that motivation wore off, and
Yeah.
it's like you have to really implement your disciplines.
Yeah. It's a daily battle for sure.
It is.
Yeah.
One that I win and lose, daily, right? Like you just keep fighting towards that. That's crazy. That's crazy that you mentioned swimming because that really
Isn't
hit
that something?
a pain point for me.
Yeah, that's
Like,
wild. Out of all the
transparency.
people I've talked to, I haven't heard anybody else reply back where they could relate to that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Because I could swim, but I hit a wall in the water where it's like, I'm panicking,
Man.
But
Yeah.
have you been skydiving?
I actually want to skydive. That doesn't scare me.
Yeah.
The thought of jumping out of an airplane doesn't scare me.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Swimming does.
Yeah.
You know, one of the most amazing things about swimming is that no distractions. Like, it's just me in the water swimming. And I'll tell you what, like, the idea to write a book, the chapter outline of the book.
Like through swimming?
100%.
I love walking. I love walking fast.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's where I like talk to the Lord, come up with my ideas, budget things that I need to budget through in my mind. Like, I get clarity when I'm like just walking.
Man,
no
that's
phone,
so good.
No nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I love that you know that about yourself. That's huge.
That is like, that's how I connect with the Lord.
Man,
Is
that's
to,
important.
Like, but it can be a slow walk. It has to be like a very fast-paced walk where I'm just, there's purpose.
I see.
I'm sweating. I feel good. And I'm talking to the Lord.
Yeah.
It's
You ever
really
thought
cool.
about doing a triathlon?
Well, what's funny is I have a client who does triathlons and tells me how much he loves them. You're the second person now within a year that talks about that. So I don't know if that's God saying something.
Man, there's some good ones in Kansas City. My daughter and I are training for the Kansas City Triathlon. It's a shorter distance, so nothing crazy.
Okay.
That one's in May. And then also there's a Kill Creek Triathlon over at Kill Creek on the Kansas side.
Yeah.
That's, I think, around August, towards the end of the year. And it's an even shorter distance, but all of them are fun. And yet, I'm reminded, somebody just said this the other day and it stuck with me. What I resist persists.
Okay.
What I embrace becomes grace.
That's kind of
So it's
cool.
like there's, you know, with your, you know, you could keep resisting and yet maybe there's something God wants to do there.
Maybe.
I can't wait to hear more about that, man.
So
we're going to a pool right after
Yeah, I
this.
know. That's what I feel like.
jump in a freaking pool.
That's what I feel. Maybe you just need the guys to go with
Jim
you.
Rohn said that there's two pains in life, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. Which one? Right? And then, so that's been like a sounding board for me lately.
Yeah.
And then I heard Mike Tyson say like this. I'm going to say it in his voice.
This is going to be good.
I know this is going to be good. I'm going to try. He's like, you know, discipline is like doing something that you hate as if you love it. Doing
like
something that you hate as if you love it. Like,
That's solid.
I have to learn to love to swim, I guess.
Man.
And there'll most likely be healing in that. I can say that. So
Wow.
Yeah.
that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool that you brought that
that's
up.
neat.
Maybe God had you on this podcast just for that.
Perhaps.
I don't know.
Perhaps. He does
I don't
speak
know.
through people sometimes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can.
What is the biggest lesson that you've learned through this journey? I mean, you know, you kind of took a little reset in the last 4 or 5 years. What is the biggest lesson you've learned that, you know, you can help that one person like me right now,
You know,
that's watching?
I think if I had one life hack, it would be, I have a feeling that this is already how you choose to do things. If I had one life hack, it would be this. Don't do life by yourself. Meaning that if there's an area where like, I don't like the results I'm getting or I'm stuck or frustrated,
Yeah.
ask God to show me who. Well, there's a book, Who Not How. Great read, by the way.
Dude,
Yeah.
amazing book.
Like,
I love that.
Okay, God, I'm struggling financially. Show me somebody who can help me. He says that if I lack wisdom, all I have to do is ask. And he'll give it to me. And so if I had a life hack, it would be asking for a who.
Yep.
And I'm good about, number one, identifying. Thanks to my wife sometimes. It's like, hey, this is something that's just not working. We need to fix this. I'm like, okay, she's wise. A lot of times God speaks through her to me. Hello. And so just, I would say,
Another pain point.
like when it becomes, like when it comes to building a business,
Yeah.
like, man, I was working 7 days a week, 12 hours, 16 hours a day, just whatever it took. Cause I came from an employee mindset, meaning, oh, I just need to work hard.
Right.
Meaning
I need to work
crank
harder.
out the hours.
Exactly. Crank out hours.
And sometimes working harder doesn't work. It's good if effort's the challenge, but if the point is, what's my point with this? My world changed when I got my first business coach, Rick DeLuca, in 2015.
Nice.
He
That's
told-
when I got my first business
Is it
coach.
really?
Yeah.
Man, how about that?
I failed 8 businesses before that.
Okay, got it. You're a slow learner. Okay,
I am
we're
a very
friends.
slow
That's why we're friends. I
I'm
see. Okay.
hard-headed.
Those are fast
we have a lot
Yeah.
in common, man.
Yeah. Dude, and when I got my business coach, I'm like, oh,
Isn't that
that
something?
was
What did your coach help you do? I could think of a few things on my end. What about for you, man?
my coach helped me just number one, how I looked at business. Like, she's like, you're trying to just create a higher paying job for yourself.
Yeah.
Let me teach you and show you and coach you how to build a business. So really defining what a business actually meant, which is something that it's a vehicle for me to sell a skill or a product, be profitable, meaning keep money, and then building systems and building a team around it so it can work without you one day. So now I just focus on my top 10 highest priorities, high value activity. My team handles the rest through
Good for you.
through leadership and a CRM system called a task management system.
Hey, there we go.
So I just manage the task manager and we're on point, KPIs, all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, that's solid.
And then my business, I found that my businesses work better when I'm not micromanaging, when I'm not in the day-to-day.
Okay. Yeah, bigger picture.
But that was really, it was shifting the mindset around what business is. And then also identifying what do I really want out of life so that way I can actually build the business to get me there.
That's an important question.
Right?
Yeah.
Because we're really good at setting business goals because that's the tangible. We see that I want to go to this, but it's why? Have you ever asked why? Are you just trying to create more chaos in your life, or are you actually trying to get somewhere? And because the business is not the end all be all.
Right.
I learned that when I sold my business. I was like, oh, I didn't see that in my future, but I sold the business, and it was a launching pad for something else. And I was like, okay, this is what it means to have a business, to have an asset, to build an asset. So that's kind of
good, man.
The coaching helped.
Yeah.
And never in my wildest dream did I think I was going to actually coach other businesses, but it became a passion. I was like, well, if this helped me and help my family, let me help others fulfill their potential.
Yeah.
And so God kind of put it in me to coach others. And I was like, this is my first business where it's actually a passion of mine.
Wow.
Coaching is actually a passion.
Yeah.
It's not easy, but it's a passion. So
I know this is your channel, and yet can I ask you a question about your coaching?
Sure.
Everybody has their area that they have a Superman power. What is your Superman power or strength when it comes to coaching?
My beard.
Your beard. Yeah, your height.
That's his haircut.
There's a few areas, but oh crap, man, that's a good question.
I can tell you're a great coach. I can tell you're passionate about it.
I love doing it. So I guess there's a few areas where I love to kind of focus. Number one, what is this business supposed to do for you? Really getting granular on, guys, the business isn't the end all be all. What do you want out of life? Right? Especially for the Christians, what has God called you to be?
That's a big deal.
That we really need to build this business. Because I believe business is a great vehicle to get you there. I believe
100%.
in wealth, that God could use you with your wealth for that. So that is one thing. So really kind of getting the mindset around goal setting is kind of a superpower. But then really kind of saying, okay, great. So if that's what you want, let's figure out how the business needs to look when it's done and start backtracking on it. So
reverse engineering.
Exactly. So that's one part. Then leadership is the other part, and sales is the other part. I love those three areas, which is goal setting, leadership, and sales. That's what I love.
Did you have any challenges going from a ministry background into sales?
No.
Okay, I asked because I was talking to a gentleman yesterday who, he wants to continue to give everything away for free.
Oh,
and yet I did have that. He's trying to build coaching products, and he's having a challenge, which I can relate to. I mean, so I get it. So I was wondering if you had a challenge with that.
I don't think that was ministry because I got into ministry so fast. I was I got into ministry. I was this is not what I got out so fast.
I see.
I was like.
You're a quick learner.
I was a youth pastor for a year. I was like, nope.
Yeah.
Not for me. I hate kids. No, I'm joking. For me, I grew up very, very poor.
Okay.
That was my limiting belief was just, who's going to pay this much money for my time?
Sure.
And so that was my limiting belief. And the challenge that I had with selling was not really putting value, a price on that value.
Yeah.
And so I gave a lot away for free. I did a lot of tradesies and all this kind of stuff. And
Same.
It never benefited me. It always benefited the other person.
Right.
And I was like, you know what? Let me stop doing this.
Yeah.
Let me stop. The only person I trade with is you. That's it. Because we've established that, and there's a transaction going that we understand, and there's an agreement. But other than that, no more trades, no more. This is the value, and it's up to me to really help you see where the value is, where my price is.
That's good. What switched? Did you have a mindset shift at some point where something changed?
I was a broke coach.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah. Pain.
I was a broke coach. It was pain.
Yeah.
But the mindset switch definitely helped with getting another coach.
Okay.
Not that my old business coach, but she became my business partner. So now it was more like a partnership. So I really had to kind of get coached in mindset with somebody else that just really didn't have that attachment to me.
Yeah.
And it was like, look, do you want to be a broke coach, or do you want to keep doing things like this? He had to reestablish the foundational things with me. What do you want out of this? Why? So I was like, oh crap, I got so up there that I forgot to do all the basics for me.
Man.
And so I had to rebuild that,
Yeah.
so.
Right on.
Every coach needs a coach.
100%.
It's still a business.
Yeah.
Sure.
And it's actually a harder business to build than a service-based. I have a junk hauling business. That's easy. Boom.
Yeah.
That's an easy one.
Yeah, especially because where you came from, your last one that you
Yeah.
ended up selling was...
Service-based business is my jam. Like I was a contractor.
Okay.
But then went to air duct cleaning because there was a niche right there.
Yeah.
So I love niche businesses like that. But
Yeah. Nice.
so, but you know how I overcame the giving everything away for free?
How?
I put my team in charge of all those conversations.
Oh, smart move. Leverage.
Yep. I
Yeah.
leveraged my team. I was
Nice.
like, well, if they want to talk to Kira,
Yeah.
she'll talk to you. Talk to Rachel. Talk to
Yeah.
Michelle. Talk
Right.
to you know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
I'm not in charge. Like, I even
Yeah.
get to the point where people are like, let's schedule a one-to-one right now. You know what? The best thing to do is email
Yeah.
Kira and ask her about my calendar.
Sure.
I don't want to accidentally double book you.
Right.
That is my legitimate
I
excuse
witnessed
to
that
do that.
get better.
Yeah.
Nice. It's good feedback.
Because my time is valuable too. And I can't just
100%.
always give that away. So.
Yeah. Time is the most valuable thing we have.
Mm-hmm. Oh, my wife reminds me.
Speaking of time,
Yeah.
Right.
Awesome.
So-
Well, Chris, thank you so much for gracing us with your presence. We
Hey,
really
it's my
appreciate
pleasure.
it.
Thank you.
we'd
Your time
love to
there.
have you back sometime.
Deal.
Yeah.
So
Deal.
and we ask you on air. Let's get it on the calendar right now. I'm just kidding.
Listen, well, I want to have you guys on my channel as well.
Okay.
Oh, we would
yeah.
love
Yeah. 5 Pillar Legacy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Shameless plug.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Absolutely shameless.
Cool.
Go listen to it, guys. Go
Nice.
raid that
There
channel.
we go.
Well, we'll put all your handles up on the comments and everything like that. How can people find you? How can they buy your book?
Yeah.
What are some things that you would love the audience to know about you so that they can look you up and actually
Sure.
follow you as well?
I would say YouTube. If you just search my name on YouTube, type in 5 Pillar Legacy, YouTube channel, and then also Spotify, podcast, all the places where podcasts go. So
Everywhere
And then
you
your
can find
book is
us,
on
you can find
Amazon?
him.
it is. Yeah. I'll share the links with you guys.
Yeah.
Maybe we could drop
I
them in the
actually want
description.
to write a book, so I'll ask you about that.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's something God put on my heart to write a book.
What would the title of it be?
I don't know.
Swim in the pool.
Man, I don't know. That's going to be wild. Yeah.
Swimming is like business, right? So,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
I decided
have
to
no
write my
idea.
book before.
I just know that there's so much in me that it needs to be
Man.
on paper.
Yeah.
I just don't know yet.
Okay, fair enough.
I just know that I
All in
want
due
to.
time.
Yeah.
Right on.
I'll ask ChatGPT. I'll be like, "This is who I am. This is what I want to. What's a great title?"
Yeah.
Chat's amazing.
It's gonna be so generalized. Though.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
Yeah.
awesome.
Sweet.
Well, awesome. Well, thank you so much for tuning into the Entrepreneur Experience. We really enjoyed this conversation.
Yeah.
We enjoy all of them, but we really enjoyed
yeah.
this one. It
Same,
went,
yeah.
I looked at the time. I was like, "Dang, already?"
I know.
Crap.
I saw it and I'm like, you know what?
Yeah.
We got to let this
It's all good.
go longer.
Exactly. Well,
so
we'll have you
good.
back. We promise.
Deal.
And
Look
then you'll
forward to
also do take 2 on your podcast. With
Sounds
us.
good. Yep.
So we'll schedule that one in there. So, well, as usual, guys, stay strong and
Keep on keeping on.
There we go.
Do you got a closing line?
Nope.
Nope.
See you later. Bye.
see you later. Bye.
There you go.
Bye. Peace out.